Okay. I think we'll go ahead and begin. We're just going to start right away in our practice on the back body in Shavasana, unless you'd like to start in seated meditation instead. Child's pose is fine too, but we'll be moving from Shavasana eventually. So just make your way to a comfortable shape. Allow your eyes to close. And then as you start to settle the weight of your body into the earth, whether that's your sits bones on the ground, or your entire back body held by your yoga mat, allow your attention to move towards your breath. And allow everything beyond your breath to slowly start to dissolve away. You start to feel the rise of each breath in. And the release of each breath out. As you begin to tune into your breath, also begin to deepen your breath. Feel the expansiveness of your inhale as it stretches from the inside out. And feel the slow, steady release of your exhale as the breath empties away. One of the interpretations of what yoga means is to unite and to come together in union. And the way that I interpreted this week, the way that this felt true for me this week, was this idea of the interconnectedness of all of us. Not just the people that we know, the people that we have relationships with and conversations with regularly, but the people whose lives have an impact on our own outside of our awareness, usually. And for me, the kind of most approachable example is the idea of a cup of coffee. And if you think about a cup of coffee, think about how many lives that cup of coffee touched before it touched your lips. Right? The number of lives that just the creation of the coffee itself involved, the people that helped to cultivate that coffee, farm the coffee. And then you take the coffee cup itself and the number of minds that contributed to the design of that coffee cup and the manufacture of that coffee cup, the production of that coffee cup. And then before you know it, just a cup of coffee that you have every morning connects you to thousands of people. And if just that simple example creates this huge spider web of interconnectedness, then we can zoom out and see how interdependent really we are. To get our groceries in the grocery store, there's so many people's jobs who contribute to us being able to pick out that food and purchase that food and take that food home and nourish ourselves with it. And on the Zoom platform, though we are physically apart, we have this opportunity to connect to each other virtually, to show up every Tuesday morning and move and breathe together. And though maybe someone's screen is off, you can trust that they're there, supporting you with their breath. And so go ahead, and with this idea of interconnectedness, I feel your heart energy reaching to the hearts of everyone present this morning. It's about to move and breathe together for these 60 minutes. Take a really deep breath in through your nose. And as you're ready, an open mouth exhale, release that breath away. And again, breathe in through your nose. And a clearing exhale to release. Just one final time, deep breath through your nose. And exhale maybe out of your mouth. As you seal your lips and shift into your Ujjayi breath through your nose, start to find your way to your back body if you're not already there. Go ahead and start to move into a full body stretch. Lengthen your arms up and overhead. Send your legs long out in front of you. Maybe spread through your fingers, spread through your toes. You might find some circles through your ankles and your wrists. And then slowly start to bring your knees into your body. And take a little rock from side to side. And then send your hands to your right shin. As you interlace your hands on your right shin, lengthen your left leg to the earth for when you're moving pose. Feel the space in the front of your left hip as you pull your right thigh close. And breathe into the space of your low back. On your out breath, go ahead and start to find your way into your supine twist. Let your right knee tip across you. And then get heavy through your right shoulder. We'll just take one more breath here, a slow inhale. Even slower exhale. And then as you start to tip onto your back body, send your right leg to the sky for a hamstring stretch. As you reach behind your right leg, notice if it feels okay to have your left leg long. If it feels a little bit early to have that much extension, you might bridge your left foot to the earth instead. Yeah. And maybe flex and point through your right ankle a couple times, just for the relationship between that action and the stretch through your calf. And then stretch your right heel high to the sky, take a big breath in. And on your exhale, take your hands to interlace behind your head, elbows wide. Okay, your next inhale is going to lower your right leg towards a hover. Keep your right leg at a hover, and on your exhale, start to bicycle your left knee into your body and twist your right elbow to your left thigh. So left knee is in, right elbow's across, and your right leg is hover, just like your regular bicycle crunch. Now, if you can touch your right elbow to your left thigh, create that connection and press them together. If you can't quite reach, just feel your sternum moving in the direction of your thigh. And take a big breath in. You're going to slowly start to lift your right leg up to the sky and your breath out. And again, if you have that connection between elbow and thigh, you're pushing them together to add a little bit more resistance. In slow motion, inhale, lower your right leg towards a hover. And on your exhale, just a slow lift your right leg to the sky, pull your navel down. And we'll take one more like that. So your breath in is going to lower your right leg towards a hover. Continue to push to the left side or to lift your sternum. And on your exhale, lift your right leg to the ceiling. Awesome. So to lower your right leg all the way down to the earth, let your head and shoulders drop back. And then interlace your hands on your left shin. Okay, when you're moving pose, second side, take a deep breath. And as you breathe out, your left knee tips over to the right, supine twist. Okay, feel your breath as it moves through your body. And start to reach more of your breath into the back of your body. In yoga, the backs of our bodies are connection to the universal, to everyone and everything. So as you stretch your breath into the back of your heart for that connection, again, to not only everyone practicing this morning, but everyone's lives that come into contact with your life. And then start to bring yourself back to center. Extend your left leg tall to the sky. As you reach behind your left leg, decide where you'd like your right leg in space, either long or right foot bridge to the earth. You can have some softness in your left knee, or maybe even a lot of softness to your left knee if your hamstrings feel pretty sticky this morning. Take your left hip crease and energetically wrap your left hip crease forward, so away from your heart, then slightly into the midline. Maybe a couple of point flexes to your left ankle. And then stretch your left heel to the ceiling. Take a breath in. On your exhale, you're going to take your hands behind your head. To breathe your left leg down towards a hover. On your out breath, pull your right knee into your body and twist your left elbow across. So you're going to bicycle your left elbow to your right thigh. Again, you're either going to push elbow and thigh together super strong to add a little bit of pressure against your core, or you're going to lift your sternum towards your right thigh to create that extra engagement at your center. And big breath in. Exhale your left leg slowly to the sky. See how slow you can go. And inhale, left leg's gonna lower. And exhale, left leg lifts. And one more time, all the way through. Inhale, left leg lowers. And exhale, left leg lifts. And inhale, lower your left leg all the way to the earth. Let your head and shoulders drop back. Reach into a full body stretch. And then bring your knees into your body with your out breath. And we're gonna rock and roll forward and back until we find our tabletop pose, all fours. After a couple of rocks, go ahead and bring your joints to stack, shoulders above your wrists and hips over your knees. You squeeze your finger pads and start to inhale to a cow shape. Lift your heart and lift your tail. On your exhale, curl your spine to your cat pose. Press down and forward with your hands as your head drops between your biceps. And then inhale to a neutral spine. With your exhale, walk your fingertips wide, so off the outside edges of your yoga mat, and come to your fingertips. So kind of like our gecko pose that we usually take from our bellies. Squeeze your finger pads and then start to dive your heart down towards the earth. Take your elbows wide so your elbows stack over your wrists. And then press back up. And on your next exhale, take your right shoulder to the midline and look to the left. So think right shoulder dips towards the center, shoulders pull out of your ears, elbows press forward. And then inhale through your center. Good. Exhale, second side, dip your left shoulder to the midline and look over to the right. Then inhale up through your center. Exhale, just walk your hands back beneath your shoulders into tabletop pose. Tuck your toes underneath. And then hover your knees a couple inches above the earth into a hovering tabletop pose. So push down through your hands, push through your toes to help lift your knees and pull your navel to your spine. Good. Right, breathe into the back of your body again. And on your exhale, pull your front ribs into. And from here, we're gonna inhale, step your right toes to the back of your yoga mat. So your right leg is like a high plank. On your exhale, step your left toes to the back of your yoga mat. On your inhale, step your right foot forward into hovering tabletop. Exhale, left foot forward, you're in a full hovering tabletop. And inhale, step your left toes back to a high plank leg. Exhale your right toes back to a full high plank. Inhale your left toes forward, hovering tabletop. And exhale your right toes forward, hovering tabletop. One more breath in. Okay, downward facing dog, press your hips up and back. You'll probably have to lengthen out your stance a little bit. So adjust your feet as much as you need. And then just take a breath or two here. And after your second breath or so, begin to use an in-breath and lift your right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Keep your hips square, flex your right foot. On your exhale, you're gonna shift forward as if you're headed to a high plank. Tap your right toes to your left heel. Navel to spine, start to lift back to three-legged dog through your right heel. So think right heel leads the way, so your right glute pulls you to a three-legged dog. And bring your knee towards your nose. And step your right foot forward to the top. And let your left knee come all the way down to the earth. And hug your left knee forward, pull your right heel back so you get that really strong action through your legs, and lift through your heart in your hands. Vinyasa. Use your exhale to draw in through your belly. Pull your front ribs back. And then keep your heart high, so sternum lifted, and start to spread your elbows wide like goddess arms. So less of a back bend. As your elbows go wide, gently encourage them back in space, but keep the back of your heart lifted. From here, your hand's gonna fall to interlace behind you. Take your right thumb on top, and then take this whole bind over to your left hip. Okay, so the bind is on your left hip. You're gonna press your hips to that bind, so to the left, and then take your left elbow back into the midline. Drop your right ear to your right shoulder, so you get a big stretch across the left side of your neck. Cool. Take another breath here. Keep your right ear towards your right shoulder, but start to reach your left hand overhead to a side body stretch. So you can just wrap the backs of your right fingers around your left hip. Right ear is heavy and left hand reaches overhead. We're gonna go to a twisted low lunge next. So bring your left hand to the earth on the inside of your right foot. As you lift your back knee, send your right hand to the sky. You turn your sternum open to your right thumb. You start to take a forward stroke, reach your right fingertips overhead towards the front of your yoga mat. Then bring your right hand down to the earth. Okay, forward fold, step your left foot to meet your right. Okay, soften your knees and let your head drop heavy. As your head folds heavy, lift your tailbone tall. And on an in-breath, start to lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. With your out-breath, forward fold release. Good, rise all the way to stand, Urdhva Hastasana, circle seat to the sky. On your exhale, you're going to take a little softness in your knees. So in your Urdhva Hastasana, take your right wrist in front of your left, bend your elbows a little bit, and then scoot your elbows back in space. Keep your front ribs pulled in. Keep your chin parallel to the earth. And just this press back of your right wrist into your left should create a stretch through your shoulders, your upper body. And now grab onto your right wrist with your left hand and pull into a side body stretch, lean over to the left. Okay, with an in-breath, start to lift up through your center. And exhale, forward fold, soften your knees and hang to your hips. And halfway lift will lengthen us out. Breathe in as you extend. And then high plank pose, put your hands and step your feet back. And in your high plank, you can always just stay right here. Otherwise, on your inhale, either hover your knees to a hovering tabletop or shift your hips all the way back to your heels. And on your exhale, shift forward, high plank pose. You're gonna do that 2 more times. So inhale, either hovering tabletop or hips to heels. And exhale, high plank pose, push forward. 1 more time, inhale, shift back any amount, get strong through your thighs, core and shoulders. And exhale, high plank pose. This time, shift forward. Knees up or down, lower all the way to the earth. And when you arrive to your belly, untuck your toes and inhale to a low cobra. Feel the muscles along your spine light up. And your exhale, lower back down. Tighten your fingertips to the side for gecko pose. So like what we did in our tabletop. Squeeze the earth with your finger pads. And inhale, lift through your heart space. On your exhale, dip your left shoulder and then look to the right. And inhale lifts you up through your center. On your exhale, dip your right shoulder and then look to the left. Next, inhale, lift through center. Pull your heart forward as you lower on your exhale. Right, hands by your low ribs. Upward facing dog, lengthen through your arms. Lift your thighs, draw your navel in. And downward facing dog, hips to the sky. And from your down dog, inhale your left leg up and back, three-legged dog. And the squareness in your hips. On your exhale, shift forward to tap. So you're gonna shift your shoulders over your wrists. It's kind of like you're moving to a one-legged plank. Tap your left toes to your right heel. So to lift through your left heel, so your left glute leads the way, three-legged dog. So left glute pulls you up and back. Draw your left knee towards your nose. And then quietly step your left foot forward to the top of your yoga mat. We'll release our right knee to the earth. Let your right knee hug forward, that pull back of your left heel to help you lift strong at your center. So as we pull our right knee forward, we're trying to engage our right glute, and as we pull our left heel back, we're getting hamstring and inner left thigh. And we start to activate the core. Zip up through our front ribs. And as we contract through the front line, can we also lengthen our sternum up towards the ceiling? Okay, hands to the sky. Keep all the spaciousness in your back body, so that space between your ribs and your low back. But start to goddess your arms wide, so elbows go wide. And maybe a little bit back in space. As you take your elbows back, can you keep the containment through your front ribs? And then slowly let your hands fall to interlace behind you. We'll go left thumb on top. As you bend your elbows, take your bind over to your right hip. Press your hips to the right into your bind. Hug your right elbow back and in. Your left ear is going to fall to your left shoulder. You're going to stretch the right side of your neck. And the heavier you can just let your left ear become, the more you take your right elbow back and in space, the deeper the stretch you'll get. And keep all that the same, but start to reach your right hand over your head into your side body stretch. Continue to encourage your hips gently to the right. And a twisted low lunge, arrive your right hand to the earth. As you lift your right knee, send your left hand up to the sky. Good. Keep the strength of your right quad, but wrap your right ribs towards your left knee. And slowly reach your left hand overhead forward to the top of your yoga mat. And then step forward to your forward fold. Nice and strong, big step to the top. On your in-breath, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, forward fold, release. Rise all the way to stand on your next breath in, Urdhva Hastasana. There's a little softness in your knees. Cross your left wrist in front of your right. Bend your elbows and then press back. So you have this kind of diamond over your head. Front ribs pull in as you press back. Start to grab your left wrist with your right hand and pull up and over to the right side body stretch. And breathe into your left side. When you're ready, start to lift up through your center line. And then forward fold, Uttanasana, just dive down to the earth. Take a halfway lift as you're ready. Okay, head to your high plank pose, step your feet back. On your inhale, bend your knees, hips towards heels, or you can hold high plank. On your exhale, take your right knee to your right shoulder. So shift forward, right knee, right shoulder. Step your right toes back and get low on your inhale, hips to heels. Exhale, left knee, left shoulder as you shift forward. Good, step back and shift back on your breath in. This time, Vinyasa or down dog. So shift forward through your chaturanga or skip the chaturanga and just go back to downward dog. Okay. From your down dog, let your next breath in, lift your right leg to the sky. Then bend your knee and open your hip. Just take a big breath in here. And a slow breath out here. Three-legged dog, lengthen out your right leg on your inhale. You're gonna shift to tap on your exhale, so shoulders over wrists. Right toes tap your left heel. One-legged plank, breathe your right leg up in line with your spine on your inhale. From your one-legged plank, you're gonna bring your right knee to your nose. Three-legged dog, lift your right leg to the sky. And then step your right foot forward to the top of your yoga mat. And find a little bit of length to your heart. Dip your left knee to a hover, cow lunge. Now keep your left knee hovered. We're going to a hovering half splits. So left knee is gonna stay low. So to lengthen your right leg out. If that doesn't work for your body, you can always walk your fingertips back. Sometimes that helps. If that's still not happening for your body, just lengthen both of your legs to a cat lunge instead. Yeah. So either hovering half splits or a cat lunge to open your right hamstring. We're gonna bend into our front knee again, through your strong runner's lunge, to a high crescent lunge, rise all the way up. And in your high lunge, we're gonna do the same upper body progression that we took a moment ago with our back knee down. So breathe in, lift your heart. Exhale, goddess, your arms, open your chest. Let your hands fall to interlace behind you. Take your right thumb on top. And continue to strengthen your legs as you take that whole bind over to your left hip. Gently press your hips into your bind. Dip your right ear to your right shoulder and hug your left elbow into the midline and back in space. And give this one more breath into the neck stretch on the left side of your neck. And then keep your right hand where it is. You can even wrap the backs of your right fingers around your left hip. Take your left hand overhead for your side body stretch. Okay. From here, prayer twist your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. Turn your heart towards your left thumb. Keep your right hand where it is for a second. And then you're gonna unhook your right hand and reach your right hand overhead to the front of the room. Okay, from there, push into your feet, reaching crescent, send both hands out in front of you. Big breath, and I know it's a lot. Airplane your arms on your exhale. We're gonna rise up and open into a warrior two. Then right away into a reverse triangle, lengthen your right leg and reach your right hand to the sky. Awesome, yeah, good work. Turn all 10 toes to the long edge of your yoga mat. Bend into your left knee for a side lunge and twist. So left knee is going to bend. Take your right hand to the earth and your left hand to the sky. Now, so you're turned towards your bent left knee. Deep inhale. And on your exhale, low lunge to the top of your yoga mat. Bend into your right knee and pivot all the way around to the right. So back into a one-legged plank. Right leg reaches back in line with your spine on inhale. Take your right knee to your right shoulder on your exhale. Good, side plank, left hand is your base. Step your right foot back and reach your right hand to the sky. So in your side plank, you can always drop your left knee to the earth to modify. You can always lift your right leg. Then take one more breath in, left oblique strong. And then exhale, vinyasa or a down dog. So really mindfully unwind through center. Decide if you want to take a flow. Or if maybe it would feel best just to skip and lift your hips to the sky. Now let's take a deep inhale together. And then open mouth exhale to release. Inhale your left leg to the ceiling, find your three-legged dog. With your exhale, you're gonna bend your knee and open through your hip. Navel to spine active. Let's see, take one whole breath here. Push the earth away, but try to relax the weight of your skull. Awesome, we'll follow our next inhale to a three-legged dog. Lengthen out your left leg. On your exhale, shift to tap. Left toes tap your right heel. One-legged plank, take an inhale. And knee to nose on your exhale. Three-legged dog, lift your left leg to the sky. And step your left foot forward to the top of your yoga mat. Right knee will hover cow lunge. Take a moment here to see how much space you can create between your right knee and your sternum. And you're either going to a cat lunge or a hovering half split. So cat lunge is where you just lengthen both of your legs. Hovering half split, you're going to keep your right knee bent. Walk your hands back as you lengthen your left leg and lift your left toes to the sky. Think about untucking your tail and a lift through your heart. The hovering half splits requires quite a bit of right quadricep strength. So think about like you're hovering tabletop through your right knee and a hamstring stretch through your left leg. Cool. Start to find your regular low lunge, your runner's lunge. Drive down into your feet, high crescent, rise all the way up. And take a moment just to be here, to arrive. And let's inhale, lengthen up through your heart and through your crown. Keep that length as you exhale, goddess your arms. Then hands will fall to interlace behind you, left thumb on top. And then take that bind over towards your right hip. Your left forearm can be like this reminder to your low back to stay spacious. So then lengthen your low back and pull your navel into your body to press your low back into your left forearm. As you dip your left ear to your left shoulder, it's going to be a balance challenge, but also a neck stretch. Take your right elbow back and in towards your spine energetically. And strong legs, if you need to widen your stance a little bit, you might need to for stability, it's all good. Your elbow hugging in through the right side, your left ear to the left side. So to find your side body stretch, right hand reaches over your head. Prayer twist your right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. Turn your heart towards your right thumb. Keep that half bind of your left arm behind you as you hug your left sitting bone towards your inner right thigh. You're going to slowly start to circle. So your left hand over your head, just the top of your yoga mat. Push down through your feet, reaching across. And I know that's a really, really big transition. Breathe in. Airplane arms, breath out. You're going to move through warrior two into a reverse triangle. So once your right heel lands down, just lengthen out your entire left side. And all 10 toes to the long right edge of your yoga mat. Twisted side lunge, bend your right knee. Take your left fingertips low and your right hand to the sky. And give yourself a breath here. Strong and active legs. Left ribs towards your right knee. Low lunge to the top of your yoga mat. Start to bend into your left knee and pivot around. Strong through your belly, push into your hands. One-legged plank. Send your left leg back as you inhale. Left knee, left shoulder on your exhale. Side plank. Right hand is going to stay on the earth. Reach your left hand to the sky, opening to the left. At any version of side plank, again, feel free to drop your right knee to the ground. We'll breathe in together. Exhale, Vinyasa or down dog. So take your flow or go to down dog. We're going to take a little pause in child's pose when you're ready. Of course, if you feel like you'd rather be in a dolphin, a forearm plank, or a downward facing dog, you can take whatever shape you want. And just be here for 3 cycles of breath to reset. Maybe grab a sip of water. Okay. We're gonna move into, it's probably gonna be our last layer. We're gonna continue to work with some different binds. And then before you know it, we'll be moving towards Savasana. So whenever you're ready, start to make your way up to your downward facing dog. In a strong grip of the earth with your finger pads as you send your hips to the sky. As you squeeze your finger pads, go ahead and breathe your right leg up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. You bend your knee and open your hip. Option to step into a wild thing to open across your front body. Little micro bend to your left elbow, your collarbones widen towards the sky. Take a breath in. Listen, we're going to a one-legged plank from here. So pull in with your belly, then you're ready to a one-legged plank. One-legged planks can also always be traditional high planks. Right knee to your nose, pull your thigh up into your heart. Three-legged dog, inhale your right leg to the sky. And exhale your right foot forward to the top of your yoga mat. Go ahead and spin your left heel to the earth for warrior 2 feet. And push through your feet, warrior 2, slowly start to stand up. And give yourself a breath just to be here. On your inhale, reverse your warrior, right hand reaches up high. Follow your exhale, side angle, hinge forward. Pause in your side angle, plug your right thigh bone into your pelvis. Light through your right forearm, start to turn your sternum up towards your left thumb. Strong through your feet, pull your front ribs into your body, and then take an extended side angle, reach your left hand over your head. So your palm is gonna face the earth. As you keep your front ribs pulled in, take your left thumb towards the wall behind your heart to open through your left shoulder. And take a breath in. On your exhale, find a half bind. You're gonna take either the back of your left hand to your low back or scooch your left fingers towards your right hip crease. Push through your feet to lift through your heart. And an option to reach your right hand out in front of you. Front ribs in, press through your left foot to feel your left obliques light up. From here, keep the half bind through the left side, reverse your triangle, lengthen your right leg and reach your right hand high. Now give yourself an inhale. On your exhale, wide-legged forward fold, release everything, all 10 toes turn to center. Start to find a halfway lift on your next breath in. Turn all 10 toes to the left as you breathe out, so to the back of your yoga mat. Drop your right knee to the earth. If you need to slide it back a little bit, you can. Right hand to the ground, twist your left hand back in space. You can stay here or pull your right heel towards your seat, twisted monkey. Your left foot can kind of lift off the earth a little bit if you want to peel into the outside edge of your left foot. And spin your heart open to the sky. Pull your right heel towards your glute. Press your hips towards your right heel. Take one more breath here. And we're going to release. Start to lift into a low lunge. So right knee lifts off the earth. We're going to travel into second side from here. So as you push into the earth, lift your left leg to the sky. Three-legged dog, big breath in. Bend your knee and open your hip. Stay or wild thing. Maybe step your left toes lightly behind you. Then that big expanse across your heart as you inhale. With control, one-legged plank or high plank. So you decide, do you want to float your left leg or not as you breathe in? Left knee to nose, exhale. Three-legged dog, lift your left leg to the sky. And then step your left foot forward to the top of your yoga mat. Let your right heel spin down, warrior 2. Take your time to root down into your feet, then rise up to your warrior 2. Great. Settle into your shape. Let your right heel be a little bit further away than your right toes. It'll help for your hips, yeah. And reverse your warrior, big breath in. From your reverse warrior, find your side angle pose. So to turn your heart open, let your right shoulder lean back. And as you push down and away through your right foot, extend your right hand overhead for that continuation of that line of energy. Front ribs drawn in, take your right thumb energetically back in space. Good. The shoulder stretch first. And start to half bind your right hand, either to your low back, so back of your right hand to low back, or right fingertips are going to reach towards your left hip crease. Continue to root through your feet and pull your front ribs in. Maybe you press into your feet and lift your heart a little bit to reach your left hand out. You can even take your gaze to your left fingertips. Continue to push down into your feet with your strong core. Reverse your triangle. Maybe keep the half bind of your right hand behind you for a second to be that reminder of length through your low back. Wide-legged forward fold, all 10 toes in. Turn in, soften your knees, and then dive down. So a little bend through your knees as you hinge at your hips. Start to lengthen up halfway, and then rotate to your right. Low lunge to the top of your yoga mat. Drop your left knee to the earth. Your right foot might go a little bit wider. Once your left palm comes to the ground, start to twist your right hand back in space. Option to pull your left heel in. And again, the option to float your right big toe off the earth. So you find your twisted monkey. Let's take one more cycle of breath here. And then go ahead and slowly take as much time as you need to unwind. We're going to lift our back knee off the earth. Scoot your right foot into the midline if it's a little bit wider than your regular lunge. And just step forward to a forward fold. So left foot meets your right. Soften your knees, hang over your thighs, take a breath. Go ahead and inhale towards a halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. So our last little thing before we lower towards our seats and then the earth is going to be a moment to explore the setup for a bird of paradise. If you want to go all the way to bird of paradise, great. Otherwise, we're just going to take the grounded variation, for lack of a better term right now, because my brain's not working. So in your forward fold, what you're going to do is take your right hand and reach it between your thighs towards the back of your yoga mat. Yeah. Then take your left hand towards the sky, left palm open to the left, and then start to reach and bind the two on the outside of your right leg. I was like, which leg are we going to? So your left hand's going to reach out. Flip your palm towards the right and then catch it. So your hands are bound on the outside of your right hip. Now you can stay right here and just twist your heart to the left. Okay, that is a shape in itself. Those of you that want to go to bird of paradise, feel free to guide yourself there. Your left leg is going to be your base and your right leg is going to come with you. Wherever you are, take 2 more breaths. If you're lifting up, lean your weight way to your left. Yeah. Good, good, good. When you're ready to release, it's just going to be a forward fold. So to lift up halfway on your inhale. And then fold as you exhale. And reach your left hand through your legs. And then you're going to take your right hand to the sky. And just start by taking your left palm to face the right so you can press the back of your left arm into your left leg. Your right palm faces the right, so you can press the back of your right hand to the wall behind you and just get that open arm twist first. And then start to flip your right palm towards the wall that's on the left side of your body. As you bind your hands at your left hip, and you might just turn your heart to the right and get this twisted version. I can't remember the name of this at the moment. If you're wanting to go to bird of paradise, you're gonna bend your knees a lot, and lean your weight to your right foot. Maybe start with left to be toe. You're gonna push down through your right foot to rise up, yeah? So no need to go there unless you want to. Wherever you are, take 2 more breaths. Ooh, Lavanya with the block, always using props in the best way. Cool. When you're ready, just forward fold release. Take a moment. And then breathe in to lift up halfway when you're ready. And just bend your knees and have a seat all the way down to the earth. Okay. From here, go ahead and root down through your heels. Flex your toes to the sky, creating your heel anchors. As you push your heels down into the earth, grow tall through your torso. Through your navel, pull in, your pelvic floor, draw up and in. As you pull your heels against the earth towards your seat, feel your front ribs draw back. And try to keep all that containment of energy at your core, reach high on your inhale. And exhale, start to slowly descend to your back body. Continue to anchor your heels into the earth the whole time. You might need to scoot your heels a little bit closer towards you as you go to keep that connection to the earth. But eventually, you'll find your way to your back body and a full body stretch. And breathe in as you reach from your fingers to your toes. With your out breath, bring your knees into your body. And take your right hand to your right shin, your left hand to your left shin. Let your knees open wide to a modified happy baby. And then reach your knees forward. So press your knees into your hands, forward away from your body, until your arms go long and you get a stretch between your shoulders and your ears. So your knees press forward, that creates that stretch around your neck, through your traps. You can stay here, otherwise start to take a fuller expression of happy baby, so hands to ankles, or the insides or outsides of your feet. You can always extend one or both legs. You can rock a little bit from side to side if you'd like. And start to bring the toes of your feet together. The ball mounds of your feet together. Your heels don't have to come together. In this hybrid of happy baby and butterfly. Your knees are going to press forward and away. And your hands are kind of acting like a hammock for you. Maybe even push the ball mounds of your feet together so there's some energy through the inseams of your legs. And when you're ready to release from this, just let your knees fall into your body. Send your legs out long, like Savasana, just for a second. We'll get there in a moment. And then you're going to take your right knee, or rather, just pull your right knee into your body. Let's start with wind removing pose first. So right knee comes into your body, left leg is long. Without twisting your right knee across your body, take your right knee just towards the left, but keep your shoulders and your hips all square on the earth. Flex your right foot, and while keeping your right hip grounded, take your right knee energetically to the left. And then start to take your right heel to your left shin, which is a little bit funky. So it's like this grounded twist, your right heel to your left shin. You're still twisting your right knee energetically to the left. You're going to press your right heel just gently, glide it along your left shin towards your left toes. Again, your whole torso is square and grounded to the earth, but your right knee is twisted energetically to the left. As you lengthen your right leg towards your left toes, extend, and then slowly just reverse that same action back up. So you're going to trace your right heel up your left shin. Your right knee is still in the twist action, so your right toes are pointing to the left side of your yoga mat. And then we will go into a supine twist. Let your right knee now tip all the way across your body once you've completed that whole action of forward and back up your right or your left shin. And in your supine twist, just take 3 breaths. At the bottom of your 3rd breath, as you roll into your back body, send your right leg long. So you're again like in Savasana. Right. Your whole body is grounded here. Hips are square to the sky, shoulders are square to the sky. Back body grounded. That's what we're going to keep as we continue into the left side of this little stretch motion. So bring your left knee in like when you're moving pose. You can keep your left hip grounded, but energetically push your left knee towards the right. Flex your left foot. And you're pressing your left hip down into the earth as you cross your left knee over to the right. Now keeping your whole back body grounded, and keep your left knee energetically moving to the right. So your left toes point to the right, your left knee points to the right, but your whole left side of your torso is still on the earth. So to take your left heel down towards your right shin and slide your left heel forward along your right shin towards your right foot. So we're taking internal rotation through our left leg. And you're going to slowly slide your left heel up your right shin towards your right knee. Still grounded through the left side, that internal rotation through the left leg will eventually slide into a supine twist. Left knee tips across your body. Take your 3 cycles of breath here in your supine twist. And then you'll bring your knees to center. Bring both knees in. Give yourself one final squeeze. Take a deep breath. And when you're ready, find your way to your Savasana. Start to send your legs out long. Arms out beside you. Maybe palms face open to the sky. As you settle in for your final relaxation, just take a moment to get comfortable, get cozy. With the weight of your body, begin to settle into the earth's support below. And as you settle into these last few minutes of your practice, you Start to shift from the active doing portion of the practice to the more receptive being portion of the practice. You have this chance to integrate everything you moved through over the last 55 minutes. And this opportunity to connect to the energy of this practice that extends beyond yourself. And you get to be the mindful observer of your body, your breath, your heart, and your mind. So as you tune in, you start to pay attention to the more subtle components of this moment. You can let anything beyond here and now fade back. And you're just totally aware of the present moment at hand. Start to slowly deepen your breath. And just notice what happens when you deepen your breath. When you intentionally add length to inhale and exhale, how does your body respond? How does your heart respond? And what happens within your mind space? Just continuing to pay mindful attention as you continue to deepen your breath. And then if you're ready, start to find some movement with your fingers and your toes as well. Start to bring energy back into your body, maybe circle your ankles, your wrists. If you'd like to take a full body stretch on your next breath in, just feel all the space that you've created this morning. And on your breath out, go ahead and let your hands either come to your heart space and just continue to rest on the earth, and closing your practice on your back body. And take a moment to press your way up to a comfortable seat. Be tipping to your left or to your right, side to fetal pose, and then up to a tall spine. And this last pause that we take is to acknowledge the time and the intention that you devoted to your practice today. It's an opportunity for us to acknowledge each other, to pause in gratitude of this community, to which we can come and move and breathe together, even when we're apart. We also pause in honor of the ancient roots of this practice that continues to serve and support us to this day. And so let's take one more deep breath in through the nose all together. When you're ready, open mouth, exhale, release. May yoga offer us a path to compassion. And may our practices serve as our teachers, leading us to live more authentically, love more deeply, and see more clearly each and every day. Thank you so much, and namaste.